Hey guys, Peter here to do a concert review. Tonight I attended Cloak with Khemmis in the city of Toronto. These two bands are touring across North America and they have 4 shows left on this North American tour. They're going to be next in Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Bloomington. So those are the next 4 stops on this North American tour. So based on what I saw today, if they're coming to a city nearby, if they're coming to one of those cities and you live there, or you lived in the neighborhood, I honestly recommend you guys go check this tour out. You go check these two bands. I honestly don't think you're gonna walk away disappointed. They really are talented, incredible bands that perhaps don't have the same spotlight as some bigger bands, but that doesn't mean they don't put on a good show and they don't give you the value that you spend on that ticket. So my advice is if you're in one of those cities, like I said, or nearby and you can get to the show, don't miss it. These two bands are touring together. Go show some support for Khemmis and Cloak. It's not every day you're going to see two bands like this touring together. So go out there, support the bands, tell them I sent you. All right, as far as the show is concerned, let me tell you this. I've never seen either band live, so I really didn't know what to expect from this show. I didn't know how the dynamics were going to be, what kind of set list to expect. I honestly went into this show knowing that these were two talented bands that are going to put on a good metal show, and that was enough for me. I honestly didn't want to have preconceived ideas of what to expect from the show, so I just went there wanting to have a fun time, enjoy myself on a Wednesday night, listen to some metal, and walk away feeling like that there was time well spent. And that's exactly what happened. As far as the show is concerned, in terms of the set list, Cloak was the opening band. Khemmis was the headliner. Cloak had a really short set. I think they played about 5 songs, if I'm not mistaken. It felt really short, their set, but it's normal. They're an opening band. Having said that, they really impressed me. They're for those of you that don't know, they're signed to Season of Mist, and they're a black metal rock band. They incorporate really those two worlds, black metal and rock, which they're not that far apart. Those two are really interconnected if you think about it. And the way these guys create their songs, really you can feel like there's a dynamic that has one leg on one side and the other leg on the other. So their set was really interesting. I really like their sound live. I really like their stage presence. I like how concentrated and how into the music they are and into the atmosphere that their music creates, and then that in on the other hand gets transmitted back to the audience. Now, they're not a band that will talk to the audience a lot, that will interact, that will tell jokes. That's not who they are, and that's not who they were tonight. They were there to perform their set. They had a specific time limit to plays. They wanted to get their songs done, so it was very businesslike. They went in, they played their songs, they finished, they walked out. Now, I don't have a problem with that because for this genre, for this style, I don't need a guy that starts cracking jokes. That's not what you want from a band like Cloak. So that's not what you got. What you got was a very ominous, a very somber is perhaps the better word to describe it, a very somber atmosphere to their set. You just felt like there was a heavy cloak over the audience. And that to me was really important. It's really important for you to get more easily emerge into their music, but for them to also connect with you through their music without having to talk to you. They're able to get you to where you need to go as far as their message is concerned, as far as the sound is concerned. I really like how well coordinated they are, really professional on stage, really incredible musicians, really good stuff. I mean, these guys put on an amazing show. Just because it was short, you always walk away feeling like you could have gotten a little bit more. But as far as professionalism, as far as quality of their set, I was really impressed. First time seeing these guys, and I would love to see them again. I love their sound, and I just loved how well it translated into a live setting. The dynamic that the songs had, sometimes a little bit more rock, then halfway through merging into black metal, then coming back again into more of a pure rock vibe with a nice little guitar solo here and there. Really well constructed tracks, really songs that really work well in a live setting, specifically in a venue like this that's very dark. It almost feels like a basement, a dark basement. So their music in that setting becomes even more alive. It becomes even more interactive. It becomes even how can I say? It just really translates well to a live setting and to the audience. I really enjoyed listening to these guys. I really enjoy their set, and I really enjoy watching them on stage and perform. These guys are not only musicians, they're performers. I really enjoyed Cloak tonight. What a great performance by this band. As soon as they were done, it was time for Khemmis to come on. Obviously, there's a little bit of a delay between both bands because they have to remove the drum set and all of the stuff from stage and put the new stuff on stage. So there's a little bit of a delay, but which is fine. I mean, this is normal. And then Khemmis comes on. What surprised me about Khemmis now was they also played a short set. Cloak played maybe 5 songs. I don't think they played more than that. And Khemmis played 8, 9, not more than that. So both bands played a really short set. And that to me was a surprise. I was not surprised with Cloak. I was surprised with Khemmis that they had such a short set. Now, first time, like I said before, seeing Khemmis live, I really enjoyed their latest album. So I was really hoping that they were going to include a few tracks from their latest album that came out last year onto the set list, which they did. So I was happy with that. But they also included some older hits. So it was a well-rounded set. It wasn't long, but it was well-rounded. They really did a good job including a little bit of everything that they have under their repertoire. So I really like that aspect. It really speaks to the fans that have been there with them for that ride for a longer period of time, but also speaks to the newer fans that discovered the band recently. So I really like the fact that they were able to combine songs from different records and just not concentrate too much on one record or the other, and then able to include, obviously, you're touring, you released an album in 2018, you definitely have to include some songs from that record, and they did. So I really like how their set felt to me, how it was constructed, how it was put together. As far as their performance on stage, another band that's very professional, not too much interaction, but once again, you're talking about a doom metal band. You really don't need too much interaction. You just need the music to take you somewhere. You need to travel with it, and that's what Khemmis' music does. It really creates this mist, this haze around you that just allows you to be transported to whatever the song needs you to go. So tonight was no different. Once again, the venue really helps. It's a very dark, somber venue, almost feels like a basement. So that helps them as well. It helps them, the atmosphere that their music creates. It helps the sound of their music. So that from that perspective, it worked obviously in their favor and really allowed for their whole set, for their whole performance to have an incredible atmosphere surrounding it. Great song, great sound, vocals. I really enjoy the vocals live. The way they came across, sometimes very haunting at times. The way they came across. So I liked everything about it. I like the fact that instead of talking to the audience, the lead singer and the guitar player would come all the way to the front of the stage and almost play into the crowd. So I like that. It's another way to interact without really extending your set and your time by adding perhaps not needed conversation. So I like those little moments of interaction that were part of the songs. It allowed the audience to become part of the show, or at least to feel like they were in the show, not just watching a show. So to me, that was really cool of them. But I really like their stage presence. I like this. I like the way they carry themselves, the way they play, how dynamic they are, how into the music they are. You really feel like they're a conduit for that music. They're a conduit for that message. That comes across so much in their live performance. You really get a feeling that the music is coming from a very deep place inside. And like I said, they're just a conduit for it. And that to me is how you win the audience over. That's how you connect with the audience, because the audience is feeling the music as well. And when you see the musicians feeling what they're playing, there's just this synergy between both. So I felt that today watching Khemmis. It was so cool to see these guys play live. How well they are on stage in terms of knowing where they need to be and how to be able to pull you in from far away into the audience, but just pull you in, slowly dragging you in towards them, and then embracing you throughout their whole set, to the point by the time the set is over and the concert is finished, you're just feeling like where was I? Like you feel like you've just been transported, like I said, through this haze. Absolutely amazing set by Khemmis. Absolutely amazing performance by them tonight. Both bands I mean, I tip my hat to both bands. They used the tools that they had, the venue that they had, the way it's set up to the maximum. They really took the maximum element out of those circumstances, if you will, out of their environment. They really pulled the most out of it to really give the audience an amazing show, and a very thick and dark and somber show from both bands. Once again, playing off the venue, really somber show from both bands, but an extreme well played set from both of these bands. Incredible night. I had such a fun time watching both bands. It's one of those shows where you go and you just stand there and you watch and you just let it all sink in, and then when you walk away, you just feel like, wow, where did time go? It's almost like you were in a, you walked into a time machine and you just don't know what happened to the time. Absolutely incredible night. Love these two bands. Really enjoyed myself. Once again, they have 4 more shows left on this tour. If you're a fan of these bands and if you've never seen them live, go see them. If you've never heard of them, check them out. Both bands incredible. Khemmis do metal, Cloak rock, black metal. You want to check out these two bands, and you definitely want to check them out live because it's a much different experience than listening to them on their studio recordings. All right, guys, this is it for now. As you can see, I'm getting tired. I have to go to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow on more videos. Take care.